Hmm. Welcome to FBB Forum. If you like this content, please be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to the FBB Forum YouTube and Instagram pages. I'm very pleased to welcome the stunning IFBB Pro women's physique athlete, which you're probably not used to hearing that now, right?
No,
No.
I love it though. Say it again.
Oh, I'm very pleased to welcome the stunning IFBB Pro women's physique athlete, Haley Brake, to the podcast. Haley had a great day this past Friday the 13th. She not only won Class A in women's, I'm sorry, no, Class C in women's physique at NPC Nationals, but she also won the overall. And Haley is from the Kansas City area, and I think she has amazing potential in the sport. Welcome, Haley. It's great to have you here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And yeah, I bet you're excited about the big win. We're going to talk a little bit about that shortly here. But I was curious in terms of getting started in bodybuilding, if you had a athletic or sports background before you started.
So really minor, really minor start. I did track and field for like a brief little second in high school.
Mm.
Wasn't very good. And then I did volleyball as a like more middle school age up
Mhm.
into about high school. And then also there, I wouldn't say I was like a world star, like out of the park player.
Okay.
I was, about middle field, not bad, but like I wouldn't say I was going to get scouted and recruited for anybody either.
Okay. I understand. That's very cool. And you mentioned before we started that you guys started in bodybuilding when you were a teenager, though, right?
Correct. Yes.
And what was your first contest? Who convinced you to do your first contest, or was that something you kind of pursued on your own?
So for me, I ended up doing, so it was about 16, 17. I did my first bikini show. And for me, I just kind of, you're looking as a youth at that age, you're just very hyper fixated on like how you look and how you present yourself. And at that point, like I wasn't out of shape really or anything. I just, was a normal like 16, 17-year old. And I wanted so desperately just to have a six pack and like a cute little like bubble butt. And of course, when you kind of look at that stuff online, you end up finding some of these girls, and I ended up really liking the way some of them girls looked. So I ended up like kind of Googling them. I could find them on Instagram. And I found out they were bikini competitors. Of course, they're professional bikini competitors. So they looked really
Uh,
good.
yeah.
Um, but that kind of started my whole thing. And then since I was the age I was as well, so as a minor, you have to, I had to get kind of like my parents' approval
Mhm.
to compete. So I remember making like a little PowerPoint to present to my parents about like what bodybuilding was and like kind of how
Oh,
it would be to compete. And then like I remember having like a few coaches I think I had in mind and like presenting them to my parents, just kind of like convincing them that this was a good idea.
oh, wow. Okay, very cool. That's awesome. You really
And
planned ahead with the PowerPoint.
yeah, I I was really really gunning for it. I was really really wanted to do it, and I think I maybe said something about it in person. They're like, sounds weird. Like you're a child and you're putting on like a swimsuit and getting on stage. Like, don't love it. And to me, I was just like, I just really want to try it. Like, I don't even really know why I was so hyper fixated on trying it,
Hmm.
but I remember I did, and I was like, afterwards, I was like, this is fun, but I'm really small.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
feel really tiny. I think I got fourth, I want to say. But
Okay.
of course, I was like the youngest girl. I was the youngest girl. I was, a little baby.
Yeah.
But from then on, like I always kind of then I found bodybuilding to a deeper extent. And I found out, oh, there's other divisions, there's other posing, other looks. And just like through the years, I think just progressively have liked the bigger girl look.
That's great. Yeah. We were talking earlier about that, the bigger girl, like women's physique and women's bodybuilding allows a little bit more, creativity, in terms of your putting on the routine and getting to flex, and it's not quite as rigid as the heel divisions like wellness and bikini and figure. But I think that's good that you kind of made that progression, I think, over time.
Yeah, I will say that's, I think, one of the more unique things, at least about my personal journey in bodybuilding, that I started so young. And, heck, they don't even do the same, I think, bikini poses. We hit like that awkward little like side bikini pose. Like some of them, they don't even do the. I know that pose is gone.
Yeah, I know
It
what you
wasn't a very
mean.
flattering pose to begin with, but
Uh-huh.
that was like your front pose, and now that's not even a thing.
Yeah, I got you. I understand.
But I think that is kind of a cool because nowadays, you can start if you want to get into bodybuilding, like it is more known. People know more about it. It's more out in the open. People know what bodybuilding is.
Yeah, yeah.
And so they kind of know. They're like, okay, like kind of which ones do you do? Like which divisions do you do? Like people know to ask those questions.
Uh-huh.
Before it was just kind of like, well, what do you do? Do you go up there and you like flex a bit? Do you like lift for them?
Uh-huh.
People didn't know what bodybuilding was. Like even doing bikini was kind of like a strange thing.
That's
But
great.
this, I would say it's beautiful. It's just not for me.
Oh yeah.
I love the front double bicep and all that stuff. It's very classic bodybuilding to me.
Uh-huh. I like that too. Yeah, I prefer that. And it's cool that you convinced your parents to let you do it too. Because
It is. And
I
like
have
now they're all on board.
yeah.
it took it took honestly even I think up until this year to kind of have everything come full circle for them where they're like, okay, like I get this. Like I understand why you put so much time, effort, money, resources into it.
Really? Oh, that's cool though. That yeah. So they're more supportive now. That's good.
They are. And
Yeah.
my mom's great. Like she's been to every show. She wouldn't dream of missing one. Like it's just part of it. And she's super proud. Like I think she cried more than I did this weekend.
Oh, that's sweet. That's so cool. That's awesome.
She's a sweetie.
Um, now I was curious, do you have a fitness role model that you look up to?
I wouldn't say so. Even just like through the past couple of years, I would say I have like one specific person. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I do really love Sarah Villegas
Mm,
and her look. I like that
yeah.
it's very. She gets so lean. Like I love how dry she gets. I love the muscularity that she brings. I still think she's very feminine.
Mm-hmm. I
Uh,
agree. Yeah.
I just like her overall look. I've also been personally thinking about it, but like there is a debate kind of on the implant versus no implant look.
Yeah.
Whether that's kind of something, and I did make jokes about if I won my pro card that I was going to get me a pair, but now kind of sitting back and thinking about it, I was like, I don't know. Like I do
Yeah.
love the look without like I just don't think you need them,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know if it would bring something to the shape or just kind of take away from maybe the classic look that's out there. But to go back to what you're actually saying,
Oh yeah. Oh
no, I don't really have like a role model per se, like one girl. It's more of like I've always just been looking at pro women's physique girls for the last few years. And
okay.
there's so many beautiful ones. It's really, really hard to choose. Like, but I
Yeah.
do typically like the ones that kind of they are larger for their class. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
like even Ashley Jones, she did women's physique several years ago.
That's true. Yeah.
But I like kind of those crossover girls, is what I call them. The girls who kind of either do figure and physique or do physique and bodybuilding, and just kind of have I'm a big shape girl. Like I love the girls that have the really dramatic X frames, like the thick backs. Like I just think it's very pretty and aesthetic.
Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah. And I kind of agree with you, or in terms of the implants versus no, I almost think it's better not to, because I think sometimes the women get them too big, and then it's just like totally, just too distracting, or it just messes up their symmetry. I don't, I think you just have to be kind of careful venturing into that, because you can kind of mess up a good thing, in my opinion. If you,
Yeah. And
Mhm.
that's why I love when I see girls that do get to a higher level in bodybuilding without them.
Yeah. Mhm.
I don't think you need them in women's physique and women's bodybuilding by any means. Like I
Yeah, I
other
agree.
categories like wellness and bikini, you kind of do. I do think
Mhm.
it really adds a lot to their look.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah. No, I think no, I don't think you really need it. And I think you look great without them. So I say no, don't get them.
So I was like, I know it's not really, it's like a weird thing to be asking people's opinion on, but when it comes to even just the whole sport as a whole, like it's now all about aesthetics. And it's like, well, what may add or take away from your look? And that's a big one for
I
women
know.
at least.
And it's pretty common too for ladies to get them too. I almost wonder if they get kind of pressured sometimes by the judges or, coaches and stuff. But no, I don't know. I just don't think it's necessary to get them. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's just me.
I've kind of felt I don't feel pressure to get them. It was
Yeah,
more of like the deeper in prep it got. I was like, I still feel very feminine, but I kind of wish I had this.
yeah, I understand that.
And I
Yeah,
was like, well, I was like, I don't feel not feminine, but it's kind of been the thought of, well, I feel more feminine if I had these.
yeah, I understand that too. But
Because I still think that's very important. If you want to excel in the sport, like there is different levels of femininity, and what you think is feminine is always very subjective.
yeah,
But if you don't feel pretty and feminine and beautiful, like then there's really no point in doing it. Like you still have to love it. You have to love the way you look. Like,
hmm
because at the end of the day, you still have to live with this body, not, off the stage and on the stage. You
and
still have to
there
love the way you look, not even just for that one day.
and there's life after bodybuilding too. You have to consider, the long-term effects too. So yeah, I agree with you on keeping the femininity. No, I think that's important. And I think you look really feminine up on stage. I think you look great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was hoping that was going to be something that might give us a little bit of an edge. Not that the other girls aren't beautiful, um, but there is just, like I said, a lot of different looks, and it's kind of what look do you want to play into?
Yeah.
Trying to play into more of a very feminine, maybe almost kind of old school bodybuilding, where it's not maybe the biggest girl,
hmm
but has more of like a shapely. We're going for a lot of shape, but still have at least decent conditioning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, yeah, definitely important to get the conditioning too. And yeah, the
It's
shape is so important, shape and structure, I think. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. And that's what should be rewarded, I think, too. So um
Yeah, I think that's also really what divides the women's physique and bodybuilding. I love doing the bodybuilding poses, but I just don't think my structure really is that quite yet. Maybe if I got a really blocky in
uh-huh.
the future, but genetically, I just don't think, like, I've always just had a really small waist.
hmm
So the other girls in bodybuilding do have small waist, but it's more, I don't want to use like a mean term, or like more of a blocky, I guess could be sounding kind of mean.
Oh no, I understand where you're coming
But
from.
those
Yeah.
girls that have more of an X frame versus the girls who just have a wider waist and don't have as much of like a taper or like a
Yeah.
quad sweep, they're still very muscular, and I think it looks super good. But it's just
Yeah.
not the classic or like a women's physique shape.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I like your lats and your tiny waist look make you look really good on stage, I think, and helps you stand out too, for sure. Um,
But we were banking on. I was like, maybe that'll be enough.
oh yeah. No,
It was enough. It was enough. But it's so
yeah.
hard looking at yourself, knowing what you, if you really look like you look a certain way, and if that's going to be what they want, like you just never know.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about NPC Nationals, and I know
Yes,
not only did you win your class, but you also won the overall. But what was
yes,
that experience like? Were you surprised by the win?
absolutely,
Uh-huh.
absolutely. Because even when you're back there, you just really don't see, you see the other girls in the class, but like you're not flexing, like you just pump up and you're waiting to go out. And like I said, social media too, because we do the photo shoot the next day. So I got
Oh
to
yeah.
meet the other girls in the classes that won, and the other physique classes, and then the women's bodybuilding overall.
Oh, nice.
And
Great.
so that's super cool. And we got to like connect on Instagram and like talk with each other a little bit, because you just don't really have that kind of time that you think you do. You do with the girls in your class, but not the other girls in your division in other classes.
Yeah, I
Um,
understand.
so those girls too is super fun. Like I got to add them on social media, and we're all kind of the same. Like we all have kind of a goofy handle, and we don't really have a whole bunch of followers, but we're doing what we're doing. And I think we all love it to that extent where it just doesn't matter for us to post for gratification and have people validate whether what we're doing is acceptable or pretty or what anybody else wants. So that's super cool to me.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But then we just kind of didn't know who was coming into the show. Like, given they didn't really know I was coming to the show either.
Uh-huh. Yeah. There wasn't as many like past nationals ladies that I recognized on the list. A lot of new people on the list. So, but that made it kind of interesting because there was kind of like discovery for the fans, I think, to see these new ladies like you that were coming up. And no, it was I wish I'd gotten the live stream, but I was working and being on a Friday, I couldn't break away. But I saw a lot of the pictures and stuff, and it was a great lineup. And it's great that y'all are all connecting too with social media now too. And that's something I wanted to ask you too was would you say was there like a strong kind of iron sisterhood backstage, or was there any scrapping, you know?
Honestly, I kind of, like I said, compete in the other divisions. Um, all the divisions, I've never had anything be super catty or super nasty. I never saw anything nasty backstage. I've really never ever seen anything nasty with the girls backstage. I can't
Good.
speak for the boys,
Okay.
but most of the time the girls are, as you can tell, I'm a talker.
Oh yeah.
So I have not a problem talking to girls I'm meeting for the first time. And if
Cool.
anything, you're so excited at that point, like the work is already done. Um, so being nasty or anything like that backstage, like that's really not gonna, it doesn't matter.
I got
It
you.
doesn't matter like what you brought right now, another teaspoon of salt and another, dollop of honey is really not gonna change anything.
Yeah, I got you. I understand that.
So
Yeah.
like at that point, but I do think the bigger girls, I think we are the most friendly by
Okay.
far. I think it's just a different camaraderie. Like it's so unique and it's so fun. I've
Yeah.
had so much fun at these last two shows with those girls. For my last show, like I had those girls reaching out to me, telling me congratulations and that some of them live, a few hours away. So we're going to link up and go work out and get food. And, because I just think there's not as many of us as there is like bikini and wellness.
That's true.
So I think we feel a little more drawn to each other just because it's nice to be understood and like have somebody who really understands what it's like to do it. It's a different level of understanding and it feels like a different type of love, but it's
I
so
know.
fun.
It's kind of like women's bodybuilding, women's physique is a niche within a niche sport. It's like a, I mean, double niche, and it makes it so I totally understand that. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
it's so special though. And like just being in
mhm.
it now, I was like, I love it. Like I will stay in women's physique until I get told that I shouldn't be doing it no more.
Oh yeah, yeah. You might have to move up to women's bodybuilding eventually. So maybe.
Maybe like several years from now, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I did the posting and I had a blast doing it. I just am not quite fit, I think, yet to be doing like a last breath.
Oh yeah, you can grow into it for sure though. And yeah, in a few
But yeah,
years. Yeah.
if we grow into it, I'm happy with it. I'll happily do women's bodybuilding.
That's awesome. Yeah. Now, was this your first national qualifier?
So yes, this is the first time I qualified for nationals.
Oh, it is. Oh, cool. And I know, tell me again which national or which amateur show did you win to get to nationals?
So I did the USA Championship, and I believe that was November 23rd of this year.
And that was in Kansas City?
And it was, yes, in Kansas City, Missouri.
Awesome, very cool. What was that show like? Did you enjoy that show?
They did, I thought they did a great job. The venue was a little squishy. It was a little, we were all little packed little sardines in there, but they did a great job. Jack and Ann, I believe it was his show. They did a great job. They
Oh,
treated
they're
their athletes
awesome.
pretty good. I think it was Liquid Sunrays was our tan. They did great. Like I have zero complaints about any of that. It was a smaller show though.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's like I got some confidence from it, just like some stage time because I believe I was about 3 or 4, probably about 4 years removed from the stage at this point.
Okay.
So
Oh,
I had a lot of nerves
oh
kind
yeah.
of coming in just because, like you have social media, right? So you kind of see all these really good pump pictures and really good flexing pictures at the gym. You just don't know if you're right, if you should be doing it yet.
Yeah, I understand.
And
Yeah.
so, I also got a new coach back in December of last year, and I really didn't anticipate doing anything for at least a year. I was anticipating a good year off season.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it worked out. So it all worked out for you though. I mean, the
It did. Like it
yeah.
all, like I said, it's all a big old happy surprise. And
Yeah,
like the best way, like it's the best surprise.
that's
I couldn't really
awesome.
have asked for anything more. Like the season really went flawlessly. I know my peak for my last show wasn't perfect, but like I said, it was my first show, first season with my coach.
Okay.
His first show that he's speaking me for, like that's a hard job.
Yeah, no. That's Justin Jacoby, right?
It is, yes.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I've talked with some of his other athletes, and I know that he's considered a really good coach, and I know he's very attentive to the athletes. So yeah, and he's got the recipe for success, I think, because he's helped a lot of pros, win pro shows, but also a lot of amateurs, get their pro cards too, which is great.
Yes, absolutely. And he's phenomenal. Like I can't say enough good things about him. Like we would not, I would not be doing any of this right now if it wasn't for him. And he was the one that even pushed me, like I said, to do the season. I pushed back a little bit. I didn't think I was ready for any of this. Like I didn't think we should be getting on stage this year. And he really built my confidence up to be what it is, to where I'm like, okay, like maybe I do stand a chance. Like I'll get on stage.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's great. So he convinced you, huh?
So yeah, I mean, I was gonna listen. I was gonna give it a try because what have you got to lose at that point? But by no means did I like really think I would pull a pro card quite this year.
I
I want to
see.
get one by
Oh,
30 is my goal.
oh yeah, yeah. And you're 27 now, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. That's so awesome though. And Justin has a good eye. I mean, so yeah, so it's good that you took his advice and followed his lead on that, So
He
um,
definitely knows better than me. He's helped quite a few women's physique girls. And I think that was a good driving force to me choosing to work with him,
yeah.
just because I wanted somebody who has experience in those divisions, because I know it's just a very particular look. It's a particular prep. It's just everything's it's very certain thing. Like it and he does a great job. Like he knows what they're looking for. I think he has just a good eye for all of that. So it felt like a no-brainer to go ahead and work
Yeah.
with him.
That's terrific. That's great that you're working with him for sure.
And now he's stuck with me.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Now I was curious, if we talked a little bit about before we start recording, but do you have an idea where would you like to make your pro debut? And do you think you'll compete in 2025 or take a year off?
So a lot of that is still kind of up in the air. We discussed a little bit at dinner last night. I love Texas. I think they put on Texas bodybuilding as its own whole world, and I think it's wonderful. And I'd
Mhm.
love to maybe possibly do the Texas Pro, but heck, I love Wings of Strength. I love the shows they put on as well. I think they put on and support a lot of the like women's physique and women's bodybuilding. So I'd love to support their shows as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
But that's kind of really I haven't given a whole lot of thought to it. But I do
Okay.
need to start doing that. uh,
Yeah.
as far as like off season, I would say probably at least a year. But
Hmm.
also, I know typically what I've been told too is that if you do walk into a national show and you can win it overall, usually that means you are a little closer to your goal of being successful at competing as a pro.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Yeah.
But I was like, I'm more than happy to take like 2 years off. I doubt I'll get the 2 years off because
Uh-huh.
I'm always a little slow poke and want a little more time. But
Yeah.
I definitely trust what everyone else says and what like my coach thinks, what judges think. I still want to get feedback, I think, from Sandy and see what she thinks.
Oh, that actually was my next question. I was wondering if you're going to try to get feedback from the judges.
Yeah,
Um, yeah.
I
Okay.
want feedback. I think Justin's very confident that he knows exactly what we want. Like that's phenomenal. Like I have no doubt that he knows exactly what she's looking for, what she wants. It's more of like a level of respect too that I kind of want to show as well to the judges and Sandy and everything too, because I am just curious too. It doesn't hurt. So I do kind of want to know what she kind of thinks in her eyes and see if they kind of line up when it comes
Mhm.
to her and what we think too.
That's good. No, I think you should definitely do that. It makes sense to ask for that advice. So
There is a
yeah.
scorecard out. I did see little notifications for that today, but I just haven't got around to it. So I don't know how close it may have been.
Oh yeah, I did see the scorecard. I didn't get into that. I'm not sure offhand. I can't remember. if it, you know, in terms of the difference between you and second place. So, um, but yeah, no, no, but I think that's a great idea to check with Sandy for sure, and kind of get on her radar. Can't hurt
Yeah,
because she's
absolutely. I don't want to. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
oh no, no. Or just that she judges a lot of pro shows too. So if she's kind of if you can stick in her brain, you know, that's a good thing, you know.
Yeah, and I was like, it's also just it just doesn't hurt, and I think it shows that I'm interested in moving forward. I don't just want to get a pro card and then okay, I'm done.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
that's never been the goal. I was like, of course, I really didn't think further past the goal of becoming a pro, but now that we're here, like I do want to actively compete as a pro. I know there's a lot of talk too about how few times in their career that some of these women's physique girl and women's bodybuilding girls do compete. And
Yeah.
I do kind of understand where from the athlete side, like if you need to gain significant size or make these big changes, like it does take time. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I think that's part of the reason why maybe these divisions are dying is
Mhm.
because these women just don't compete as often.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that.
And so the shows don't want to, support and make that division when there's five girls that are going to show up.
Yeah, I know, and that's not a good thing, especially the early shows this year. I think that was tough. When you had three or five, or you know, just a handful of people show up, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
not good. Not good for the whole sport, I think. Or
Yeah. So
especially the division. You know, it's not good. So
yeah. And I absolutely get it. Like I get it on both angles at this point, and both sides have very valid reasons for it. But I do think at the
yeah,
end of the day, if we do want these divisions to survive and have these divisions moving forward, we do have to, we got to get up there. We got to
yeah.
get up there, go to shows, we got to promote it, like not be in perpetual off season for 5 years.
Yeah, I got you. And I do think it's up to the fans too. The fans have to show up and show out and buy the tickets, you know, and show support for the pros. I honestly am honestly a little bit surprised sometimes when I go to a pro show and there's just not very much audience and there's not much hooping and hollering, you know, that it's like it's so subdued and it's like what it shouldn't be that way, you know, it should be it, I think it's exciting and it should, you know, the fans need to buy the tickets and show up and so that you know,
100%. And I know it's expensive. It's expensive just like any other sport that you're going to
mhm,
go watch live. But I
yeah,
do think if people could go out and just like see it, just people that are like casual gym goers that kind of have an interest in bodybuilding or
mhm,
kind of like don't understand. Because I did have like back home from my regional people that kind of knew of bodybuilding because it is more popular now, but they've never
mhm,
seen it. They don't know what it's about. They don't know the ins and outs. They don't know how show is ran. They don't know what it looks like to say you're at like I'm competing. What does that mean? Like,
mhm,
you go on stage. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing on stage? Like people just don't really know.
yeah,
So to
uh-huh,
have the opportunities, when I did my show, that I had a bunch of people come out that they've never been to a bodybuilding show, and
okay,
now a lot of them were females, most of them were females, and they've never seen a bodybuilding show, and now they get it, and they're like, "That's really cool!" Like,
yeah,
and I'm hoping that kind of makes things more popular. I'd be very happy to actively compete every year, every other year,
yeah,
as long as I was improving and like not shooting myself in the foot and getting worse.
oh yeah, no, I understand that, yeah, definitely, no, I think you're going to keep improving for sure.
I hope so. I'm very excited for off season. That was something I've been thinking about for the last couple weeks, regardless of how things got. I knew we'd be in a good spot for a reverse and to gain on a good quality muscle at this point, since we did get a lot of the body fat off.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
we're not absolutely peeled yet, but I think as the body does the reverse process and prepping process over and over again, that I should be able to get leaner.
uh-huh,
I should be
yeah,
able to get leaner. I'm not quite the age that most girls are very successful at these divisions at either, but
yeah,
I don't think I'm a genetic anomaly by any means to where, because there is very young girls in the sport, like 23, 24, that do get ridiculously peeled. They have great size. Like, I know that's just really not me.
yeah, I got you, I
I'm willing to
understand.
work very hard to make that me. It might take me till I'm like 30, 35.
Yeah. Oh no, I totally understand that. No, and I think you'll have some longevity in the sport for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm hoping like that it just won't die on me.
Oh
It's now
yeah.
like my concern. Like it's just been something I thought about since yesterday. Now that I'm in it now. I was like, well, shoot. Like I remember even a couple weeks ago, I forgot what show they took away women's physique.
Oh, Legions recently did, and
Yeah,
that
I'm like,
yeah,
I
I was
thought I
bummed
was sad
about that.
about it, but now I'm extra sad about it.
I was bummed about that too. I was like, oh man, that's been a really good show too, and a lot of great athletes through the years. So I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah, so maybe if we can bring like some new looks, some new for girls to see and be like, you know what, I think that's pretty. Like, I want to look like that. Like, maybe we'll
yeah.
get some fresh girls in the sport that maybe want to try these divisions and end up falling in love with it, and so we can keep it floating.
Oh yeah, I agree. One thing I know you're relatively young, and I'm like twice your age, but I remember back in the day when ESPN and NBC, the mainstream TV networks would actually show bodybuilding, and that it's still pretty common for women my age to say, I saw a bodybuilding show on TV and it inspired me to look into it.
Mhm.
And I just would love to see bodybuilding come back to TV again. I don't know what it takes to do that, but it getting that kind of exposure, beyond the niche of Instagram, and live streaming on NPC or IFBB show. I just would love to see that and kind of get bodybuilding back in more, not in mainstream, but at least out there for people to see if they're just changing channels and stuff.
Yeah, and it's not even too for like women's divisions. Like I know that as a whole is just kind of like a not as popular.
Yeah,
But like
that's
there
true.
are men's divisions that just aren't as popular either, like that are
Yeah.
dying now.
Mhm.
212s on the way out, which is
Mhm.
sad because that's an opportunity for some of these guys. And I feel bad that they have to try to mush into a different category that maybe, is either going to be detrimental to them or cause them to retire or cause them just to stop competing because
Yeah.
they physically can't do it without pushing so many drugs that it's just not even worth it,
Yeah.
or whatever other means of getting to that point would be.
And they're kind of smaller in stature too. I mean, so it's tougher for them to compete too.
Yeah, and it can be done. There's Sean
Yeah.
Carita and other guys in the sport that
Yeah.
show that it can be done, but I
Uh-huh.
think Sean is a good example of like a genetic anomaly, a genetic
Yeah.
freak in the best way, and we all can't be Sean Carita.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely.
So, it's just creating more opportunities, like making bodybuilding more, maybe for lack of a better term, accessible would be
Yeah,
really cool. I know,
I agree. Yeah.
it's not for everybody, but it would be cool to get more support and it to be seen more as a sport than I
hmm
think what people kind of see it as currently.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just one more thing on this kind of topic, and then I'm going to ask you another question. But I think I like it when like local news stories on are put out there on bodybuilding, and when they do that, it kind of highlights it, for the local folks, and also kind of highlights the local gym too. But I would love to see more stuff like that, like a Kansas City local news story on you, for instance. I think would be kind of cool and celebrate your win. But I think that in a certain extent, that requires some of the fans and some of the expediters and such to just reach out to their local news and try to push that as a story, because it is so unique and it's such a niche kind of thing. But it's I think it's fascinating to people who aren't familiar with bodybuilding.
It is, and like it's been around. Arnold's been around. People know who Arnold is. They know that he started in bodybuilding. Like they understand that.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I some people might not even know that women do it.
Yeah, I know. I think you're right. I think a lot of people don't. And that there's, pretty established competitions and been going on for 50 years now. And so
Yeah,
those are,
it's a very like just kind of like an old school sport.
yeah, it is kind of old school. Yeah.
But I do love it. Like I love leaning into that even like if I would do like the big old 80s curls or something at a show. Like I think that'd be fun, like to bring some of that stuff back.
I would love that. That'd be
and make it
awesome.
like very feminine and girly.
Yeah.
I think stuff like that would be fun. And I think if we could get different looks into the sport versus just like the girls who, not that there's anything wrong with wearing like a bun on stage or a ponytail, like, and like really not doing the makeup and the hair and like making it kind of girly,
Hmm.
I think is kind of what then caused people to be like, oh, like the general public.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still mess with it. I still love it. I love seeing girls do whatever feels beautiful and wonderful to them.
Yeah. No,
But I do know the general public, like most of the time I have the general public look at me like I'm a boy.
really?
So I can't imagine how some of those girls would feel.
Yeah, I got you. I understand that. I'm surprised people think you're a boy, though. That's kind of
Yes.
crazy. Really?
All the time. All the
Really?
time. I would say at least like, especially the closer we got to show two is like once a week.
Really? Oh, wow. That's crazy. That's
Or that like I'm a transgender, which there's nothing wrong with being a transgender, but
yeah.
that is typically kind of the route that people go with me.
Oh, yeah. I have heard that complaint actually from other bodybuilders that they get confused for transgender, but I just like, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I was surprised by that, and but that's from a fan perspective too, I guess. So
Yeah. And like I've just been in it for so long and I've been looking at it for so long. Like to me, I these girls are girls. These are all women to me. I've
exactly.
never once looked at them and been like, you gross, like that's a boy,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
but I guess from the outside looking in, maybe if I've never seen this before, like I try to extend some grace that, people usually aren't being mean about it. They just like are a little curious.
Yeah.
Okay, then
Yeah.
maybe people should just mind their business and not
Hmm.
ask. But, people are just sometimes genuinely curious. So they'll ask you.
Huh.
I
Interesting.
really, hindsight 2020, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, I understand that too. Yeah, and if it's genuine curiosity and not being meanness, I just don't like the mean people, being dicks about it, and yeah.
And some of them are. Some of them I feel like very much know that you're a woman. They're just trying to like poke at you a little bit and just kind of make you feel a certain way. And given when you
Hmm.
diet too, like you do have a just a gnarly jaw structure sometimes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And I get that. Like it's, but I think it's cool.
Oh yeah.
I kind of like it actually.
I think it looks great.
You
Yeah.
look back at pictures and you're like, I didn't realize my face was not, it was more round because it just gradually happens. So it's just kind of more normal to you. You're like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But
But even
then,
last night, I was like, ooh, diet face.
oh yeah, but the diet face is cool though. It means you're getting ready to get on stage, I think that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And
Yeah.
I'm a hoodie and sweatpant girl pretty much
Oh
all
yeah.
year round. So even at my gym, I train in like hoodies and sweatpants.
Oh
So
wow.
people really didn't know I was competing.
Uh-huh. Oh really? Wow.
I just didn't feel, like I said, I'm bad at social media. And I told my friends, like, I wasn't a secret. It was never meant to be like ooh, like, I don't want people to know. It just felt more like it was for me. Like this whole thing was really just to prove to myself I could do it.
Okay. Yeah, I
So it
understand.
wasn't, I didn't want a whole lot of outside thoughts, or I didn't want to even get any comments about anything negative just in case either.
Yeah.
Because either way, it wasn't going to matter, but it was all for me. And I am just more quiet when it comes to bodybuilding and what I'm doing, but I do want to turn a leaf now that, we did go pro and I'm a pro now. Like I do want to be more open and like post more and just kind of have people see kind of what's going on. Cause I do think people think it's cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think people want to follow your journey. I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
And it might be a little uncomfortable for me at first, but I do want to get out there a little bit.
Yeah.
I
No,
might feel silly for a little bit, but
I think that's a great idea. And yeah, and I think you're going to get more people just as, now that you got your pro card, people will be reaching out to you too. So,
it does
and
make, people take you a little more seriously.
yeah,
They
that's
do
so
listen
cool.
to you talk a little more, I
Uh-huh.
think.
That's awesome. Now, I was curious, what would you say is like your best muscle group, and what do you think needs the most improvement of your muscles?
Unfortunately, well, I guess I should say unfortunately. Fortunately, I do think I'm very balanced right now, which in past looks, I typically it's my upper body that's smaller. It's always been like my smaller muscle group.
Hmm.
Um, I really don't know why. I don't know if it's because I started when I was younger, like wanting to just have, a butt and abs. So I trained legs and just said, screw it for the upper body.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. I
But then
understand.
obviously I fell in love with upper body training. I do think more than likely, I feel like I would need a little more arm, maybe a little more shoulder. I know
Okay.
that's probably not going to be the popular opinion
Uh-huh.
because I think I've said things about that to people and they're like, no.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
But I do think overall, I do need to be a little leaner. I think conditioning will be
Yeah.
something that'll push me pretty far. But I don't know if I really need more size, to be honest. I don't know kind of what they're looking at a pro level.
Yeah. You already have good size. What is your stage weight, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't mind at all. To me, it's all just like data. It's all cool. It's all just facts of how it was. So with my regional for the qualifier, I was about one third, well, not 139, 149, closer to 150,
Okay.
which was not bad, but I was not quite my legs just don't want to lean out. They
Okay.
didn't want to lean out and they got honestly worse from like 10 days out to show day. And then I had really bad edema that day. So any leg line was just a hope and a prayer at that point.
Okay.
And then for this recent show, I think the lowest I got was 140.2.
Okay.
So I got about a 10 pound, 8 to 10 pound difference
Wow. That's
from the
good.
show.
Yeah. And what's your height?
So according to the guys, 5'5" and an eighth.
Oh, okay. So you're not, oh, I thought you were taller than that because
Yeah,
you look
very
taller on stage.
specific. 5'5" and
Uh-huh.
an eighth is what they measured me at because they measure your height before your show when you do your
Yeah.
chins. And that is what I got measured in at on Thursday.
Oh, very cool. That's great. Yeah.
It was
No, I
very
thought you were
accurate,
taller than.
very up to date.
Yeah, that's very accurate. Yeah, that's awesome.
But yes, I do think I do look taller. I think my legs are so long,
Yeah,
my torso is so short that I just look really tall.
I think it is. I think it's because your legs. That's exactly it. Now that I kind of envision how you look, yeah, but it's a great look though. I like it. Yeah.
Thank you. I guess I do need calves, actually. I misspoke. I do need calves, lots of calves.
Oh yeah, yeah. To build up your calves. Yeah, I got you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're like probably my number one thing now that I need is probably calves, but I feel
Hmm.
bad just saying calves. I got to pick something more cool, like shoulders and arms.
I got you. I understand. No, that's cool. Um, Now I was curious to do you have like a full-time job outside of bodybuilding?
So I do. I do. So I work right now still remotely for a clinic, but I don't have to like go into an office per se. So it does make things a little easier.
Okay.
I did pick up back in about February, which really isn't super pertinent because I didn't start prepping really till July. But I started doing like bartending and waitressing in the evenings. So I do that. But that's really it. I am looking to phase out of doing remote work because it's not for me. I do like being up and about. I do like people.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I
I
do want to
understand.
phase out of that. It's in healthcare as well. So it's kind of, I've been teetering in and out of wanting to do that anymore. It's what my degrees are in, but I just don't think I have a love for it anymore.
Yeah. What do you study? Nursing or?
So I did medical lab sciences and health
Mhm.
sciences. So I did a double major.
Oh, very
You
cool.
can do a lot with it. You can sell pharmaceuticals, you can work in a clinic, like you can build on it too. It's super easy to build on. But
Okay.
I love health, obviously. I love health and sciences. I think it's really cool. It's just not quite all I thought it was cracked up to be. I think it's more of like the healthcare system since COVID and stuff kind of shot at the foot for me because that's right when I finished school.
Okay. I got you.
But nothing wrong with it. It's just I honestly think I'd probably be better at like sales or something.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, I understand. I know, I think a lot of people are disillusioned by healthcare. I mean, that CEO that got shot, and killed
Yeah.
and the backlash from that. It's terrible what happened to the guy, but I can understand the anger too with the health insurance companies denying claims and, just, you know, it, we don't have an ideal system at all, I think. So,
Yeah,
so
I think it's just when you get into it, you think you're helping a lot of people, and you do help a lot of people. It's just not the way you thought you were going to.
mhm.
And it was hard for me to kind of come to terms with that.
Yeah, I
So
got
I
you.
think I just kind of want to phase out of it altogether.
Yeah, I
I
got you.
don't have a desire to be like a personal trainer or anything, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I love helping people, and I love writing out a little workout plan here and there, or like giving suggestions. But I don't think me being like a bodybuilding coach is quite my wheelhouse or what I would be super great at. I would
yeah.
feel awful if I like mess somebody up and I'm just not educated enough in it.
Okay,
Like I
yeah.
know it from my standpoint, but like I couldn't peak a men's open bodybuilder.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That would be tough to do, I know. A lot of science involved in that too. Yeah.
It is, and like I think it's fascinating. Like I was more nosy about that stuff this weekend just because I was curious about how that works. And I
Uh-huh.
love being there. Like, I'd love to have maybe some job working in bodybuilding in some capacity.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't know what it would be. I just don't want to be a personal trainer.
Oh yeah, I got you. I totally understand that.
But even like behind the scenes stuff would be great. Like if helping with promotions, if there was something for like the divisions I love for the women, like I'd be more than happy to like put a lot of time or energy into that kind of stuff. I would
yeah,
love doing it too. I know I would love doing it.
I think you'd be good at that too. Yeah, that would be great. Well, maybe somebody listening in will reach out to you. That'd be kind
Yeah, maybe somebody
of
will need some weird niche little spot filled.
Yeah,
And you
maybe.
just never know. You never know until you put it out there. So
Yeah, yeah, it couldn't hurt to put it out there. Now, I was curious in terms of living in Kansas City area, and I know, Juno Gardenhire, who also got her pro card at Nationals, lives in that area, like we talked about, but there must be something in the water to produce so many great bodybuilders. Is that a supportive community, would you say, for bodybuilding?
it's amazing. It's amazing. I moved here back in July of 23, and because I'm originally from Wichita, Kansas, so a little smaller of a place. Bodybuilding is not near as large, and
Mm,
we just don't have, especially women, we just don't have women out there doing it like that. Here,
yeah.
I go to Flex Fitness, and it's ran by Jason May, and he's a IFBB Pro as well.
Okay.
And his wife are phenomenal. Like they have put such a good gym together. They have great pieces. I really couldn't ask for better equipment, like a better place to work out at. It's 24 hours. Uh,
Okay.
it has all the cardio equipment you could need. It has a posing room that's beautiful, like, and he upgrades it consistently
Nice.
and really knows what we need to just as athletes. We have a lot of pro women here. We have a wellness pros. We also have other physique and bodybuilding women pros that
Yeah.
I'm hanging around and like putting myself at the same table with. And I think that's made me better.
That's terrific. That's great. Yeah. I can't remember, is Marika Jones in your area, or she might be in St. Louis. I can't remember. But
I feel like
she's
he's St. Louis
yeah.
just because she doesn't like ring a bell to me right off the top of my head. But
Oh
we
yeah.
have like Amanda Santos,
Oh
Amanda
yeah.
Mendez. We have a lot of Brazilian, really, really good Brazilian girls
Yeah.
that
Amanda's
look
Mendes is
phenomenal.
great. Yeah. Oh, the Brazilian, the girls are really amazing. Oh,
Yeah,
I
so
didn't
we
know
have like
those.
a little community here, and a lot of women that also are just up and coming too. That I think are going to do really good in the future too. They're just either need another season or are going to have a season soon, or they're looking for a coach. Like, so I think we have a lot of good people here. Bodybuilding is very supported, at least in our community, and I think that
Great.
helps.
That's terrific. You need to get Mahomes to like help push bodybuilding in Kansas City. That'd be kind of nice.
It'd be kind of cool. I guess we do have like Chiefs Fit gyms and stuff, but nothing like Kansas City, because we have a few like good gyms. Like it's not even just Flex, but Flex is like it is the only gym I go to.
Okay. Yeah.
And I do like I went to them. I'd go to them every time I would travel here from out of town and fell in love with that gym. So I'm not gonna lie, I tried to find a place that was within like 15, 20 minutes of being able to train at that gym
Oh, nice. Very good.
because
Yeah.
that's how important. it was to me to be able to train at a good gym like that.
It makes a difference to be in a bigger city too versus Wichita, which is kind of small to medium sized city too, I would
Yeah.
think. So
We
yeah.
called it a big, small city.
Yeah. Yeah. Wichita. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
say it don't change, but if you're looking for bodybuilding stuff, like I've always said that you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to get out of there. Um, Unless you literally get your own garage and like put all your own stuff in there. Like it's just not. I really think there is something about surrounding yourself with people who have achieved what you want to achieve.
Yeah.
We have a few pros out there, but we have pros here that like actively compete and actively are pushing to get better versus just like maybe getting a pro card and never competing again, which feels more
Yeah.
common in smaller cities. For some reason, bigger cities, I feel like you just see people get pro cards and they're like pushing to do more shows. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is about that.
I think
It may have no correlation at all.
more motivating each other. Yeah, no, I think that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I think you're right. I've noticed that too. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. I just had a couple more things to ask you. Is there thing I missed that you'd like to address or anybody you'd like to shout out?
I guess more, I mean, shout out wise, I haven't even made a post yet about this show. But obviously, like everyone on my team, I think this weekend did phenomenal. They did amazing. I'm so proud of everybody. Like, it was my first time meeting, I think, everybody at this show, besides we've been all talking on Instagram or social media and like our WhatsApps and whatnot. But I'm just so proud of everybody. And like the team I'm on, I really could not ask for a better team. I'm very lucky. Very
Terrific.
lucky. All my support system, like I don't think anybody could be more loved than I am.
That's terrific. No, that's great. I love you kind of have very positive attitude and very positive personality. So I think that's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
like I did this, I'm paying actually to do this sport. So there's no reason to, like I said, it was never a sacrifice to me. It was always just, I love doing it. Like I had the best time this prep. It was not as bad. Things did not feel like a sacrifice. I was not suffering by any means.
Great.
And maybe it would sound like suffering to some people, but like to me it was just fun.
That's terrific. No, I love that. I think that's terrific. Now that you turned pro too, are you seeking out any sponsors, for folks listening in?
I mean, yes, I'd be lying if I said no. Stuff like that would be amazing. Like it's never something I thought was going to be opportunity, like as an opportunity for me, but I would love like there is products and stuff that I use or like some clothing, stuff that I love that I'm maybe like I always felt corny posting about stuff like that. Like I just didn't think I was anybody important. So
Hmm.
why make a post and like tag that kind of stuff? But now that you do get a little chip on your shoulder about going pro, like I do want to be more open about, hey, like I do like this kind of stuff, or I'd be open to trying new products and like seeing if there's anything that fit for me. I would never say anything. I would never say yes to something I don't use
Sure.
or don't love. But there are brands that I've used over the years and have used so religiously for years that if they reached out to me, like absolutely.
I was thinking too, there's like more of the in-kind sponsors, like the suit sponsor, because the suits are so expensive, so stuff like that can come in handy too.
Say meal prepping, suits, even yeah, just aside from clothes, like I don't use a whole lot of supplements. Like I'm not a huge pre-workout, all that jazz, but I love protein powder. Obviously, I usually have a protein shake in my plan,
Uh-huh.
a protein shake in my plan. So, like I have certain companies that I always buy my protein from.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't ever like make posts about it because I figured who cares. But
Yeah.
but I've
Maybe.
always, if people ask me what my recommendations are, I've given recommendations or there's certain products just aside from that I love that I would love to work with people.
That's terrific. Well, folks listening in, maybe you'll reach out. That'd be kind of nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt.
Well, thank you so much, Haley, for your time. And again, congratulations. Really proud of you for getting your overall win and the pro card. So best wishes to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
And hope to meet you at a show sometime. Love to see you compete.
Absolutely. I would love that.
Thank you. And like I said, I'll try to get this posted probably this evening or tomorrow morning, but probably this evening. So I'll keep you
Yeah.
posted.
No pressure. No pressure. I'm not really doing anything. We're sitting back. This is the most open my schedule has been in a long time.
Oh yeah, yeah. Time to kind of relax now, which is nice. So yeah,
Yeah. We're relaxing, and all of a sudden it's Christmas. So
I know.
I didn't
Yeah,
even think about Christmas really
I
until
know.
today.
We're about family and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah. No,
it's
but thank
awesome.
you. Thanks, Haley. I appreciate you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thanks.